Come on, don't you want to fight? I want to introduce you to my new best friend. His name is Number 5. He mows my grass for me, cleans up my leaves for me to free up my time so I can do more things like make YouTube videos. This is the EcoFlow blade, and I've never seen a robot mower like this. It's got LiDAR, it's got a camera with artificial intelligence, it's got a height adjustable deck, it's got omnidirectional wheels, and precision guided location movement from satellites. So that means you don't need to set up a wire boundary. A big reason why I'm making this video is because when I was growing up, I had to mow about an acre of grass every hot summer, and I think it scarred me. I'd rather spend my time with my family or fixing something up than mowing. So the promise of an autonomous robot that can mow and clean the yard for you sounded like a dream come true to me, so I asked EcoFlow if I could test one. So the plan for this video is I want to show you what this thing is and the cool tech that's in it, some of the tests that I did on it, and then finally I'll share my thoughts about it. So this mower was first announced at the recent Consumer Electronics Show. It looks pretty cool and futuristic, so I had to name him Number 5. And if you know that reference, I bet I can guess your age, and we'll see if he stays alive by the end of this video. First, let's do a quick tour before we get into some of the tests. On the front of the mower, it has a LiDAR sensor and a camera which uses AI to try to distinguish grass from other things that it shouldn't be cutting. It comes with an antenna and a docking base. You don't actually need a wire boundary because it uses RTK for positioning, which stands for real-time chromatic. Basically, it's positioning technology with accuracy of about 2 centimeters. You can change the cutting height remotely from 0.8 to 3.1 inches with the app. So this mower has omnidirectional wheels in the front, so not only does this whole thing spin this way, it has 3 individual sections. So it's got a straight section, sort of a left and a right turn, and that pattern alternates all throughout the wheel. And what this does is it allows this mower not to have front steering, so it can turn with a tight turn pretty easily, and EcoFlow says it makes it easier to go over obstacles. On the back, it's got 2 hub motors with grips on the wheels. For cutting, it has 3 blades with a cutting width of 10.2 inches. These EcoFlow branded blades are super sharp on both sides, and they're easily replaceable. On the back, it's got a rain sensor, so it knows to quit when it's raining. And because the exterior is made out of aluminum and plastic, you can leave it outside in the rain and also hose it off if you want to clean it up. It's got a lift sensor in case you pick it up.
Robot lifted. Press the power button and start button.
Or if someone tries to take it, it's locked to your account, and they also include a 4G wireless card that you can track in the app. When I tried on mine, it showed me the exact spot it was in my backyard. You also have the option of a sweeper kit where it cleans up the leaves and debris in a collection bag, and then you get an alert when the bag is full. After you set up the base and antenna, you use the app to drive it around the area that you want to mow, keeping about 6 inches from the edge that you want. And when that's complete, you can also set do not go areas or a path to another zone. Then you can use the app to start, stop, set up automations, and choose some other mowing settings. Let's talk about testing this unit. One of the biggest tests is of safety. You got this autonomous robot with spinning blades going around your yard. So to test the safety features, I've got some things that you might find around your house that I'm going to toss in front of it or put down in front of it. Like I've got a hot dog here that can simulate to being a hand, some Nerf darts. I even have some simulated poo. Okay, first test is the baby doll. All right, thank you, Number 5, for not killing the baby. All right, now let's try the poo. Okay, so now let's do the test you've been waiting for. Ah, good job, you didn't cut my finger off. Okay, so when it can see you in the front, it definitely stops, but let's try to trick it here. Well, it's not cut, but it is smashed up by those wheels. So it obviously didn't see the hot dog in the grass as it was driving around. Again, I think it has to do with the angle of what it can see. So you really could, if you wanted to, get back under here where it's kind of blind and get your hand up and under here. But they do have another safety feature underneath. Taking a look at the bottom side of the deck might help ease some fears with the hot dog scenario, because there's plastic right here at the top and the blade is under there. Can you see it? So in order to even get your finger caught, say you got past the camera, you'd have to get it in underneath here and curl up your fingers underneath. Because even if you put it flat, See where my fingertips are here? That blade's spinning. I'm not even gonna touch it. So getting your hands in here and curling them around and getting it underneath here, I guess is technically possible, but it's gonna be really hard because this thing is moving around and this deck is close to the ground. Next, let's test it against the elements. I'm gonna dump some water on it to simulate rain.
Rain detected. Stop mowing and send the robot back to the charging station.
Well, it said rain detected, and it's going back to the charging station. Let's test how this thing does with different types of terrain. I've got some pretty large roots here on the ground, and you can see it's able to handle it. Okay, there we go. A little spin to the back wheels there, but it was able to overcome that. Now to get from my backyard to the front yard, not only do you have to go over the gauntlet of roots, you have to go through this little area right here where there's a hill. And EcoFlow says that the blade can handle a 50% slope or a 27-degree rise in the hill. So I have no idea what this is, but I do know it is a hill. So let's see how well it does. So number 5 was able to make the journey all the way from the backyard, wind his way up through here, come through this little pass, up the hill, and then down this hill. But one thing to note is that if things are wet, and because of those back tires that have the spikes on them for gripping the ground, sometimes when it's wet, it can tear up the grass a little bit, like it did right here. So I want to test out the sweeper function, see if it can pick up some leaves, but it's springtime, there's not too many leaves on the ground, but there are a lot of dead leaves under this trampoline, so I'm going to blow them out so we can do some testing. The things you do for YouTube videos. So here's our test area of dead leaves. Let's see how the sweeper does. At this point, number 5 knew that the bag was full, it alerted me on the app, and it headed back to base.
Lawn sweeper kit has been removed.
Something that's great about the app is that not only can you see the progress of what the mower has done so far, you can track its precise location in real time. So here's the finished product. It looks amazing. You can even see the sweeper lines on there. I did have to run it through twice to make sure I cleaned everything up and I dumped all the leaves out, but that was a very heavy concentration of leaves. And if you have it set up to do sweeping every so often, it's gonna catch all those leaves before they build up to a big pile. So how did the mower do at mowing? The mower algorithm seems to attempt to cut in long lines, and you can clearly see the mowing lines, which makes it look nice. All right, so the blade got back to home base, and so let's go check out how he did on the mow. You can see the mowing lines right here, the back and forth, but I don't know if you can see in the video, there's a number of blades of grass that did not get cut. So like right here, you can see it didn't get cut, and there's a few other spots that I can see. All right, just finished the second pass through the yard, so let's take a look at how it did this time. I could see less grass sticking up, but I do see some patches where there was mist. So there's less than what there was before. So that's an improvement. This is the third time and much better. So there were those extra blades of grass sticking up over here, and I can see that they're cut now, and I barely see any that haven't been cut. All right, how's it doing? Very thick grass. This grass is very thick. You can see he was able to cut it here. It's very thick grass. I have it set at 3-inch setting. So what are my thoughts? Overall, the mower did very well. I did run into what I would call positioning issues at times. Though I haven't had it long enough to do extensive tests, I sometimes got this message about a weak satellite signal, and I think it led to the blade getting misaligned like here, and if this happened, it would alert me on the app. I learned that getting a good GPS signal is very important. It's been raining a lot since I've had it, and I've tried different tests on the dry days, and I'm wondering if my antenna position just needs to be adjusted, or maybe because I was using a beta version of the app. I also learned that you really shouldn't use it in wet, soggy ground because it may leave tracks like it did here. I was particularly impressed how it could traverse from the backyard to mow the front and then get back on its own. I did ask EcoFlow about the cutting coverage. If you remember, on that first mow, it missed some small spots in the backyard. EcoFlow said they know about it and they're updating the firmware to correct it. Since the mower and the sweeper are brand new, there are some specials going on, and I'll keep the video description updated with any promotions, deals, or coupons. I'm going to keep using this mower, so feel free to post any questions below, and thank you for watching.